What is going on, Tan and J-Man Show Nation? It's episode 311. It's Monday night. It's November 7th, 2022. Jam-packed episode for you tonight, including our 2022-23 college basketball season preview. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host Josh the J-Man Munt, coming at you live on the IC Sports Network and the Tan and J-Man Show Facebook page, and audio coming to you on any and all audio podcast platforms. J-Man, how's it going?
What's going on there, T-Dog?
It's dark early now with daylight savings time.
Yeah. Especially Central Time Zone.
Oh, yeah.
I was laying on my couch and I looked up, it's like, it's 5:05, and why is the sun down? I don't like it.
Just wait till next month. It's going to be 4:05 and the sun's going to be down.
Yeah. Yep.
Fun stuff. You got a birdie or bogey for me? I want to tie this thing up, so give me a good one.
I think you will tie it up today. I did not
That's
find
the
a good
kiss
one,
of death. It's always the kiss of death.
Honestly, probably saw it because this is pretty big news over the weekend, college football wise anyway. SMU quarterback Tanner Mordecai is the only player in FBA history to have 7 pass touchdowns and a rush touchdown in a single half. There is only one other FBS player on record to be responsible for 8 touchdowns in a half. Can you name that player?
Ooh, I don't know. I know of guys who've done it in a game, but I don't know about a half. So I got to guess, but I'm afraid I'm wrong, but we'll see.
I could give you a hint, but I don't really want to. It's getting a little
close.
too close for comfort.
It's all right. I wouldn't give you a hint, so I don't expect a hint.
Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Get your veggies.
Get your veggies, indeed, and get your merch, too. Merch is good year-round. So,
yes, sir.
All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got college football, NFL, college basketball. So we're going to start with On This Day real fast. And I have not even looked on the website, so we're going to be learning together. On this day in 1943, the Detroit Lions and the New York Giants had the last scoreless tie in the NFL, 0-0. I wonder what the closest one
was just about
has been to that. I don't know. I know somebody. Wasn't there a single-digit tie a couple years ago, or am I way off?
Probably involve the Browns, because it seems like the Browns tie about once a year.
Yeah. Let's see here. On this day, 1962, Glenn Hall, Chicago Blackhawks goalie, set an NHL record of 503 consecutive games as goalie. Ooh.
How many games do they play in hockey regular season?
Quite a few. I don't know off the top of my head. It's up there with the NBA. So, man. On this day in 1991, the first NBA game in Delta City, Utah happened as the Jazz beat the Seattle Sonics, bringing them back 103-95. On this day in 1991, Magic Johnson announced that he has the HIV virus and he retired from the LA Lakers. He would come out of retirement, though, for a short period. A lot of stuff about the Holy War. Nobody cares about Notre Dame, Boston College.
Yeah.
I mean, on this day
no one
last
cares
year,
about Boston College anymore, for one.
Right. They're one of the more disappointing teams in the country this year. I thought they'd be a lot better than they are. On this day last year in 2021, Kyle Larson held off Martin Truex Jr. in the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at Phoenix Raceway to earn his 10th win of the season and claim his first Cup Series championship. 10 wins, pretty good in 1 year.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
That's driving fast and turning left and sometimes right on road courses. So, But that's going to do it for the On This Day segment. Pretty short and sweet this week, but it's brought to you by, like it is every week, Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated custom woodcraft shop based out of North Carolina with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs. From signs to grow charts, their custom pieces make a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. To see some of their recently completed projects, visit them at Mooney Woodcrafts on Instagram and Facebook. And for custom orders, contact them at mooneywoodcrafts@gmail.com. Makes a great Christmas present for that fan in your family. So college basketball's starting, college football's still going, NFL's still going. So baseball will be in the spring. Whatever your fan and your family might like, whoever they might root for, Thad can make you a sign.
Speaking of baseball, the Houston Astros have won the World Series.
Yes, I got a text from one of my good friends, one of your friends. He's a Houston Astro fan. He went to Game 2 of the World Series, and he said, you can now call us a dynasty on your podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say what they've done over the past 6 seasons or so is, in my opinion, even more impressive than what the Giants did.
Yes,
I agree. In the early 2010s when they won 3 of them, but again, they missed playoffs in 2011. I think they missed in 2013 as well, where the Astros have been to 6 straight championship series, 4 World Series in 6 years, won 2 of them. Cheating allegations aside, it is what every single franchise should model. They are the model for every other franchise. That's what the Dodgers wish they were and what they think they are, and they're not. But yeah, Dusty Baker finally gets one after I think he has over 2,000 wins in his career, and it was his first career World Series title. So it was kind of nice to see him win one, but at the same time, kind of made me mad that he won one. But Jeremy Pena won World Series MVP. He's the first rookie since who to win World Series MVP?
Did Miguel Cabrera win it in 2003?
No.
Okay,
no, I believe Beckett won it that year. Josh Beckett.
I think
also a Marlin. Levon Hernandez in '97. He was the
last one to do it. I couldn't have told you who won it for them that year. So
yeah, I couldn't have either. I figured it was Renteria because he's the one that had the game winner.
Yep.
But the offseason pretty much underway. The Braves and Rockies made a minor trade today, but free agency officially starts 5 days after the World Series.
Who did the Rockies get rid of? I
think his name's Sam Hilliard. He hit like $183 last year for him and 120 some plate appearances.
I just figured they got they got rid of one of the better players because it's the Monfort. So.
No, not yet. That's probably
no. They'll sign some washed up veteran for way over what he's worth just for the PR.
As we said, I think last week get Brizzo back together.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all if they try.
with Rizzo opting out of his deal. But hopefully now that they have a new CBA in baseball, free agency will be a little more hot and heavy than it had been the previous 6 or 7 years or so. But
let the Aaron Judge sweepstakes begin.
Yep. Jacob deGrom as well. Correa's free agent. Carlos Correa, Trey Turner, Dansby Swanson, Xander Bogaerts. Decent
big
class.
Names. Yeah.
The Angels said today that Shohei Ohtani will not be traded, but that means absolutely nothing right now.
Just keep letting him and Trot rot out there. Thanks.
Yeah, rot away.
But, I almost said Anaheim, but thanks, Los Angeles.
They are
of
playing
Anaheim.
Yeah. But that we got a lot to talk about, so that's all the baseball I have.
Yep, I don't have anything else.
Yep.
College football.
All righty.
A game I want to forget. Purdue got absolutely embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed by the Iowa Hawkeyes. Yeah. I think it's the first game dating back to 2013. The Boilers haven't scored a touchdown. It was Iowa just took it to them, and Purdue shot themselves in the foot with 2 costly turnovers in the game. In the first half of the game, they got 2 drives going, and Aiden O'Connell overthrew Tyrone Tracy a little bit, but it still went through his hands. Iowa intercepts it. Later on, he overthrows the running back. I don't remember who it was, Dylan Downing, I think. Interception. So once they got things going, Iowa said, we're taking the ball. We're going to take advantage of it. And then they ended up scoring off turnovers. Second half was really boring. Iowa outscored Purdue 7-0. They scored an 80-yard rushing touchdown on the second play of the second half. Then after that, it was just nothing. Purdue couldn't get anything going. They threw way too many times, 40-plus times, and like 50-mile-per-hour gusts of wind. Just incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, this team goes as Aiden O'Connell goes. So
it's true, yeah.
And he's not playing well. He's
when
5'5".
Purdue plays in bad weather,
they can't win.
Because I remember, I think it was the 2019 game against Illinois and Purdue when it was torrential downpour the entire game. Illinois threw it 6 times, I think, and Illinois won 24-6 because Braum threw it 50 times in torrential downpour.
Purdue lost to downpour last year to Minnesota. 2020, there wasn't any. It was a short season. There wasn't any. 2019 lost to Illinois, like I said. 2018 lost to Eastern Michigan in the downpour, and then 2017, I don't think they had a bad weather game.
Right.
Well, in 2018, they played in a really cold game up at Minnesota and got absolutely killed. His teams, and today in the press conference, the media was asking him about it. Why do your teams play bad in bad weather situations? And he didn't really. He's so coach speak in his press conferences and everything. He doesn't give you anything. Sure. He's a really boring press conference and post-game interview. Where on the flip side, Matt Painter is one of the best, in my opinion. So... I don't know.
Painter's a good quote for sure.
I thought Purdue quit the other day pretty early. It was pretty disappointing to watch.
Especially coming off a bye.
Well, there was so much to play. You would go 4-0 in November, you win the West. And you are going to get killed by Ohio State or Michigan, but you still have a chance to go to Lucas Oil and you can finally say you won your division. But now they didn't. They still got a chance to win it, but they have to have help. Even if they beat Illinois, Northwestern, and IU, they need Iowa or Wisconsin to lose. One of them is going to knock the other out this weekend, but they need the winner to lose one of their last 2 remaining games, which Iowa plays Minnesota and Nebraska, and so does Wisconsin, just different order. So, yeah.
Yep. I was just about to say that.
So we'll see. No game day for Purdue and Illinois because both teams dropped it. So. Yeah.
Pretty. Both teams kind of ruined that.
They
chance.
stunk.
Even if Illinois would have won, I doubt they would have put it on. With Purdue losing 2 in a row,
right?
Plus TCU's now. TCU's hosting it, right? I believe, or Texas is hosting it.
I didn't see where it was. I just know
TCU. I'm pretty sure that's where it is.
It would have been interesting if Purdue and Illinois won, both of them. Then I think they had a good chance, especially with Alabama losing.
They had a shot. Yeah.
Which there was many headlines around the country this weekend. Alabama goes down in overtime to LSU. Say what you want about Brian Kelly.
They're done.
The guy's a good football coach. He had cojones there going for it. I like the call. Just go for it. We're right here. We're going to go for it. And beautiful play call in overtime and got touched on. He did something he couldn't do at Notre Dame. That was beat one of the big boys in Alabama on a night. His predecessor, Marcus Freeman, knocks off number 4 Clemson. Notre Dame played really well, and Clemson, I think, got exposed big time.
Yeah, Clemson has a quarterback issue to the point where I think they might start that true freshman Klubnik, I think his name is.
And he threw a true freshman-like pick. My goodness.
Yeah, he didn't play well either. One of the top quarterbacks in the country coming out of high school. But DJ, whatever his last name is, just isn't getting it done for him.
No, he's not.
In Clemson. And I think Alabama should be done. Two losses, shouldn't have any shot. I don't think Clemson will have the resume to get there either because they play in the ACC. So,
but with that said, watch out for a 2-loss LSU team. If they run the table and then beat Georgia, presumably Georgia will make the SEC championship, they might become the first 2-loss team to get in the playoff. But now Tennessee's not out of it. Georgia smacked Tennessee around. The score was a lot closer than the game really was. But now with Alabama losing, Tennessee's right back there in the mix. Now Tennessee needs TCU to lose. And they really need Ohio State or Michigan, one of them to lose pretty bad to the other one, I think, when they play each other in a couple weeks. But
we also have a 1-loss Ole Miss team who's ranked 11th, who's ranked behind LSU and Alabama, and they only have 1 loss.
They play Alabama this week.
They do, and Alabama is a double-digit point favorite.
And you got Oregon, who's lighting people up.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix, who we've talked a lot of trash about, but the guys have an unbelievable season out there. And you got USC, too, that could be in the mix, I guess. So
Yeah, TCU has to win this week to
Yeah.
prove that they are legit. Because I think there's still doubts, even though they're 9-0, only ranked 7th. They're still behind a Alabama, who has 2 losses and could have easily lost to Texas A&M. Should have lost to Texas. That's just the Alabama name is the reason why they're still ranked where they are.
Right.
And does the committee come out with a top 25 this week as well, or is it just a one-time deal, or do they do it every week?
I think they do it every week on Tuesdays.
Do they? So it'll be interesting to see where they have in a 2-loss Alabama.
Yeah,
shouldn't be anywhere near the top 4, you wouldn't think, but again, it's Alabama. So
right. No, it's gonna be interesting. It was the college football world definitely got shook up the other night. Big time.
Sure.
And like I said, Notre Dame got a big win for themselves, proved 6-3, and they should be Navy this weekend, should be Boston College, and then go into USC with a chance to win their 9th game, and even if they lose, they go 8-4. So
yeah, 2 terrible losses aside. Marcus Freeman's proven that he might know what he's doing there. Still, too, I mean, losing at home to Marshall is bad, but I think even losing at home to Stanford's even worse.
Yeah, there's still no excuse for that. So. And I still think the Brian Kelly going to LSU was more of Notre Dame reaching their ceiling, not Brian Kelly reaching his ceiling. So,
right.
And I think he kind of proved it the other night, doing what he did in year 1 at LSU. Yeah. So, yep. You want to pick some games?
Yeah, we tied.
Yeah,
we each missed 2 games, and that was the Purdue and Illinois. And we each had 3 and 4 on them. So. We tied. It's easier to tie in Big Ten pick'em than it is NFL pick'em for sure.
100%.
But week 11 starting IU at Ohio State.
Ohio State for 7. Ohio State's a 41-point favorite in this game. 41 points.
They cover Ohio State for 7.
I don't know. I thought they'd cover against Northwestern. I know the weather was awful, but they messed around and won by 14. But
yeah, CJ Stroud did not throw the ball well whatsoever.
41 points, again, a lot of points.
Super. And Indiana's bad, man.
I know they're not good.
41 to Penn State.
I know. Well, they played a quarterback who's already put his name in the transfer portal. How stupid can you be? I'm sorry. That's just dumb.
Tom Allen got that extension, and he might be bought out here soon. Indiana's back to being Indiana football again. They had a good 2-year run.
Yep.
Purdue at Illinois. Speaking of a 2-year run, Illinois is probably on a 2-year run, and then they're probably going to be back.
Oh, I don't know.
Purdue at Illinois.
Yeah, it's interesting. The state of these two teams. Were they both overlooking their opponents last week? I mean, in Purdue's standpoint, there's no reason they should have been overlooking Iowa. Iowa's out for blood when Purdue's beat them 4 the last 5 years. Jeff Brom's team historically at Purdue have had a good way to bounce back when nobody's given them a chance after they've lost a couple in a row, and he kind of figures it out. But I don't know. Like I said, this team goes as Aiden O'Connell goes, and right now Aiden O'Connell's not playing well. He's thrown 5 interceptions in the last 2 weeks, took some big shots against Iowa, so I'm wondering if he's 100% healthy. He's locking in to Charlie Jones way too often, and that's another problem. Purdue just doesn't have another wide receiver who has stepped up. They might be getting Brock Thompson back, who hadn't played since week 1. This weekend, so that could help. But at the same time, their defense can't tackle, and their defensive backs getting burnt. So with all that said, I think Illinois wins the cannon back, and I got them for 3.
Yeah, Iowa ran for over 200 yards, didn't they? I mean,
their freshman back had 200. He had 200 himself.
Illinois' offense gets super predictable, handing off to Chase Brown every single time, even though they have a quarterback that can get it done as well. Got to switch things up. Illinois is 6.5-point favorites. I think Illinois wins on a last-second field goal. Give me Illinois for 2.
That would just be
I think they bounce back, but yeah, both. It's we were kind of pumped about this matchup 2 weeks ago, and now we're sitting here like, we didn't want to watch it. Illinois for 2. Rutgers at Michigan State.
Good win for Mel Tucker in Michigan State. The guy, he finds a way to beat ranked teams on the road.
Yeah. This is a game that he loses, though.
Couple of years. I got Michigan State for 2 in this one, but I just don't fully trust them. That's why I got them for 2.
I have Michigan State for 3. Yeah, I don't fully trust them either. Again, credit to them after losing 8 defensive players that played a ton of snaps for them to suspension. They They had a really good game plan against Illinois. And one thing Purdue can do against Illinois that proven can work against that good defense, throw screen passes to running backs. That's what Michigan State did to death against Illinois, and it worked.
Yeah.
So because they're super aggressive. So
Michigan State tried to get Illinois back in at the end.
Yeah,
Mel Tucker with some bad clock management and missed a field goal.
Yeah. Nebraska at Michigan.
I got Michigan for 6. Nebraska jumped out to a 10-0 lead against Golden Gophers, but then couldn't hang on. And I just think you got Ohio State and Michigan up here and everybody else below them. So.
Agreed. I have Michigan for 6 as well. Maryland at Penn State. Tua's little brother's back. I thought he'd be out for the season.
He's back. Didn't he play against Wisconsin? And it didn't matter. I mean, Wisconsin started fighting their groove a little bit.
That was a terrible weather game as well. The entire Midwest was a terrible weather game on Saturday.
I got Penn State for 4 in this one.
I have Penn State for 4 as well. Wisconsin at Iowa.
Big game for the West, like we said. I got Wisconsin, but for 1. I think Iowa's a 1-point favorite, but I think Wisconsin's finding their groove a little bit.
Are they? I have Wisconsin for 1 as well. Iowa had back-to-back pretty good offensive weeks by their standards. But yeah, I think Wisconsin wins as well. And honestly, I'll go on record and say I think the winner of this one wins the Big Ten West because I picked Illinois, but I think they lose on Saturday.
I will if Purdue wins on Saturday, I'm going to become a big Minnesota fan going forward because they need Minnesota to beat one of these two teams.
Yeah. That's got to hurt, too, to be a Minnesota fan.
It does.
Honestly, you should probably root for Iowa against Wisconsin.
Right.
Because I think Wisconsin's better than Iowa, and they would knock off Minnesota where Iowa could slip up against Nebraska or Minnesota.
Right.
Speaking of Minnesota, Northwestern at Minnesota.
Minnesota for 5.
I have Minnesota for 5 as well. I think the only difference we had was you picked Illinois for 3, and I had for 2.
Yep.
You had Michigan State for 2. I had Michigan State for 3. So.
Yep, it's getting pretty predictable every week. We're pretty close to predicting the same thing.
If Illinois does beat Purdue and then they beat Northwestern, which I assume they'll beat Northwestern, Illinois will have swept the West this year.
That's a pretty good accomplishment.
Which is a recipe to win the West.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Elsewhere around college football, we have 6-3 Louisville. Is that chatter starting to calm down a little bit?
There's somebody jumped on somebody, or I should say somebody. I also peeked on Louisville boards the other night. All of a sudden, they don't want Brom. All of a sudden, at all. So now they're acting like they'll be ticked if that happens. So
fan bases are stupid.
Yeah.
6-3 Louisville at Clemson.
I got Clemson bouncing back in this one.
I do too. Clemson's only 7-point favorites at home. Alabama at Ole Miss.
Oh, I really want to take Ole Miss, but I just can't see Alabama dropping their 3rd game of the season. I'm going to take Bama.
Yeah. When's the last time Bama's lost 3 games in a season? We might have been in high school.
Didn't they a couple years ago play Michigan in the Capital One Bowl?
Maybe.
Did they lose 3 games that year?
What year that would have been? Would have been the year Tua got hurt and Mac Jones had to come in and play. That might have been the year, actually. Now that you say that,
I'm checking it right now.
Citrus
Bowl. It was January 1st, 2020. Alabama was 9-3.
Year he got hurt,
and Michigan was 10-2. Yep.
Once again, Mac Jones in Tua's shadow. Number 25, Central Florida at number 19, Tulane. Tulane's football program has been terrible forever. Now they're halfway decent.
They were really good in 98. Been awful since. But give me Gus Malzahn and the UCF Golden Knights.
Give me the home team, Tulane, there in Yulman Stadium.
The Green Wave.
It is supposed to be, going back to the Illinois-Purdue game, it's supposed to be freezing in Champaign on Saturday, so it will be interesting.
Better than wind or rain,
Washington, who beat that's fair. Washington, who beat Oregon State, is now 7-2, and I assume they will be ranked. I don't think these rankings are updated on the thing I'm looking at. Traveled to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon.
Give me Oregon. That's a tough place to play. Bo Nix, like I said, has been balling. So,
yeah, give me Oregon. Number 7, TCU at number 24, Texas.
Texas put it on Kansas State. That surprised me. Give me TCU. I'll keep picking them until they lose.
Give me Texas at home. Yeah, give me Texas at home. You know who's starting to fail and implode is Oklahoma State.
Oh my God, what's happened to them?
They're
They're
straight
awful.
weeks where they've gotten whooped. Yeah. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened.
Could Gundy be in trouble there?
Number 21, Wake.
Do you think Gundy could be in trouble at Oklahoma State?
No, I can't imagine he would be. I can't imagine he would be, but stranger things have happened.
What was the game? I'm sorry. What game did you just ask me?
17, North Carolina at number 21, Wake Forest.
I like North Carolina here. Wake Forest just lost North Carolina State. Give me North Carolina.
Yeah, Drake May, North Carolina. He's going to be.
He's good.
Last one here, 6-3, Florida State at number 6-3, Syracuse. 3 straight losses for the Orangemen.
Yeah, the Orange are done. Give me Florida State. I like what Norvell's doing there. Talk about somebody just going the wrong direction. Your Canes. Oh my goodness, they're looking terrible.
Yeah, I think Cristobal will turn them around. But that's a terrible culture there. Fans don't show up to games. They haven't been good there in 15 years, so it's going to be a minute before Cristobal. But Cristobal's recruiting like mad. I mean, they have a top, I think, 7 recruiting class in the country.
But there was college football experts picking them as their dark horse for the playoff this year. And they've been awful.
Yeah, they've been terrible. I see a lot of Canes media just because they're Dolphins media as well, and they're pretty disgusted with them. As they should be.
Got smacked by a rival the other night. Oof.
Yeah.
That's all I got for college football.
Yeah, me too. What's your word association? College
basketball. Yeah, let's do NFL next. I'm gonna kick my dog out of the room real quick.
3 winners, 3 losers. My first winner is the New York Jets beating the Buffalo Bills at home. First winner, as I said, was the New York Jets.
Yep, I got them too. Yep.
They defensively fantastic, did exactly what they had to do against Josh Allen, forced him into 2 interceptions. Zach Wilson made just enough plays to win. I think Sauce Gardner is going to be as good, if not better, than Darrelle Revis. I think he's going to be an absolute superstar.
He's very good.
Saying that, he talks so much trash too.
He does hold a little bit late in the games.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but yeah, Jets are one of my winners.
Yep, mine too.
My next winner is Chicago Bears.
I almost put them down.
They lost. But they're in a rebuilding tank year. But in that loss, Justin Fields might have proven that they got the right guy. Set an NFL record for rushing yards by a quarterback. Dolphins had no answer for him on the ground. Bradley Chubb got there twice, and both times Justin Fields kind of ducked out of it and ran for 40 yards or whatever. But that was like a win-win for Bears fans. Okay, get a better draft position, put up 31 points or 32 points, whatever. I think it was 32 points. Justin Fields looks good. Good deal for them.
Yeah, it's funny. Like 3 weeks ago, we were saying, he's not the guy, move on. And then he's played pretty well ever since. So
it's clicked. Yeah.
Maybe he is.
And I mean, the Dolphins defense is bad, but Cowboys isn't. And he played well against Cowboys. So.
Sure. He played well against the Patriots the week before when they went into New England and played and won. So I got an NFC North team as well in my winners. That's the Minnesota Vikings. Nobody is talking about this football team. They only have one loss. They're not getting it done pretty, but they're getting it done. And they almost got the division on lock.
Yeah, that division's awful. So they pretty much clinched things up. Because I think Packers done. Dunzo. Obviously, Lions or Bears, no shot, but Packers are done. So
Yeah, I'm pretty happy of my Lions pick. I gotta say, I'm happy.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
That is what won you the pick'em this week because I put 10 on Green Bay. If Green Bay would have won, I would have won the pick'em. So that was the thing.
Who's your last winner?
Joe Mixon, 5 touchdowns.
He was a stud.
I was lucky to not have faced him in fantasy this week, as I faced a guy who had to start Jerick McKinnon and Rex Burkhead.
Dude, my team's so injured, so I had to drop guys I didn't want to drop just to pick up enough to have a team this week. I'm just, it's awful. That's how that season's going.
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like when we switch it up and do players. My last winner is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. LA Rams might have lost it more so than the Bucs winning it, but man, Brady looks smooth with 44 seconds left, going 60 yards, and that might be what the Bucs needed to get their season going.
They go to Germany this week. First NFL game ever in Germany. Face the pretty good Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, they're real. They're the real deal.
Yeah, I agree. 3 losers.
Green Bay Packers. I said last week I'm done with picking them, and I'm still done with picking them. They stink. Rodgers is playing like trash, and injuries are piling up. It's just not going to happen for Green Bay this year.
They did nothing at the trade deadline. Could have gone out.
They tried.
Chase Claypool. They tried. How many years they said, Packers were real close to landing this guy. Well, they didn't get him. So
they said they tried for Chase Claypool, Jerry Jeudy, Darren Waller, and maybe somebody else even, but couldn't get any. Well, they never draft Rodgers anybody, so they kind of do it to themselves.
Yep. I actually have 4 losers. 2 are lumped together, Packers and the Rams. Both donezo. Done. Writing them off. Rams are awful. Stafford's having an awful season. The defense isn't playing well. Super Bowl hangover is real for them. So I'm officially declaring them both done. Done.
Yep.
Another loser of mine, the Atlanta Falcons, had a chance to go a game over 500 and keep that stranglehold in that magnificent NFC South. And they forced a fumble, picked it up with about 25 seconds left, and the guy's running, and he fumbled it right back. Chargers get a first down, go down, kick a field goal, game over.
Oh, trust me. At that time, I had a big 8-game parlay going, and it was looking good. I was a $5 one that would have won me a lot of money, and I had the Falcons plus 2.5. And when he fumbled that, I said a lot of choice words. And the Chargers end up winning, and my parlay, poof, done, because that was the first game to go final. Done. Yeah. So, nice. I did not have them under my losers, but personally I could have. Another one of my losers, and even more so with today's news, the Indianapolis Colts. Mm-hmm. They are a hot pile of garbage on offense. Yeah, I don't know how the Broncos lost to this team, even when they had Matt Ryan. Sam Elliott.
And organizationally is a dumpster fire as well.
Yes. Sam Elliott, not the guy. You spend tons of money on the offensive line. They stink. Jonathan Taylor's hurt. You got nobody to throw to. Now today you fire Frank Reich, which is fine. I thought that was gonna happen anyways. Mm-hmm. But then you hire Jeff Saturday, good old Ring of Famer Jeff Saturday as your interim head coach. He's only coached high school, and he's not even good. Doesn't even have a good record doing that. He's an ESPN analyst. He's never coached college. He's never coached in the NFL, and he's your interim guy. Hey, Irsay, why don't you just come out and say you're tanking? Because that's what you're doing.
It is. 0 cents. Irsay's made a lot of questionable moves here recently. For one, the quarterback carousel they've had of old guys that haven't gotten it done. The Jeff Saturday news makes no sense. For one, he had 2 coaches on that staff that have head coaching experience. John Fox, Gus Bradley, neither good NFL head coaches. John Fox more than Bradley. But that would have made a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
You go out and get a guy that's never coached above the high school level, as you said. It's going to be funny to watch. I'll enjoy watching it because it is a dumpster fire. And for years, I've wanted the Colts to be a dumpster fire. And finally they are.
Well, and now they're going to have to go get a quarterback in that first round, I think. And, in the crazy thing, I saw Schefter reported this too. Saturday's got to figure out who's going to call plays because there's nobody on that whole coaching staff that's ever called a single offensive play in the NFL. None. Gus Bradley and John Fox called defense, but they haven't called offense. Unbelievable.
Let Matt Ryan call the plays. That make
Why
it
not?
fun.
Why not?
Just turn it into a fan controlled team. Let the fans call in, tell you what they want to do.
Who would this be in comparison if the Dolphins did something like this? Who's a former player if they named somebody interim? Because for the Broncos, this would be hiring Shannon Sharp.
Dolphins don't really have any former or have any guys in the media that have no coaching experience and are currently in the media.
Didn't Jason Taylor do some media at one time?
He did. Well, that's probably a good comparison because I'm pretty sure he does Dolphins radio. At least he does in the preseason. But I want to say, yeah, he's a high school coach as well. So yeah, probably Jason Taylor. Yeah,
or Brian Greasy.
Brian Greasy could, yeah.
Even though he is on the San Francisco staff now, I think. But
is he? Okay.
I think so. But he wasn't in the media.
He's not calling games anymore.
Yeah, nope.
I guess I haven't seen him.
Yeah, but it'll definitely be Shannon Sharp. Skip. My last loser, the Las Vegas Raiders again.
They're garbage, man.
Up 17-0.
Yep.
3 times this year, you've been up at least 17 times and lost all 3 of those games. What happens if Jeff Saturday beats Josh McDaniels on Sunday?
I would say McDaniels has to be fired. Like it's getting close already. He's going to be a 10 and done, 10 games and done.
I mean, Mark Davis will drive his minivan out there with his great haircut right on the field and just fire him right after the game.
Yeah. Raiders could easily be like 6-3.
Oh, they could. They got talent, but they're not well coached.
They've had double-digit leads in about every game, it feels like. But, yeah, not well coached. Yeah, not a good team.
The guy's a good offensive coordinator. He's not a good NFL head coach. He can't do it.
Yeah, agreed. Tanner beat me in Pick'em, as I said.
2 weeks straight.
2 weeks in a row. I let him have this one once again because I'm a nice guy. Yeah, Tanner beat me. So
thank you, Lions.
Yeah. Thursday nighter, we have the Falcons at Carolina Panthers. Baker came back in.
Yeah, but I see Carolina announced today that Walker's their quarterback going Thursday. Head scratching move. I mean, just say you're tanking. I mean, Baker's not much better, but just say you're tanking. I mean, what did Carolina have? Like 9 passing yards yesterday? It was awful against the Bengals. Yeah. Give me the Falcons on the road for 10.
Wow. I don't trust the Falcons either. I do have them winning, but only for 2. So there's already a big difference there. In Munich, Germany on Sunday morning, Seattle Seahawks against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, the Seattle team, surprise of the year. 6-3, winning the NFC West, and they look good doing so. Like I said, something just tells me that last 44 seconds against the Rams yesterday is going to turn this Buccaneers season around. I got the Bucs, but only for 1.
I have Tampa Bay for 11.
Oh, see, all right.
Yeah, I believe that the Bucs will win. I actually didn't give my last loser. I forgot about that. The Buffalo Bills lose to the Jets. Potentially serious elbow injury, elbow injury for Josh Allen. It's a UCL injury they're evaluating. If it's a tear, it's usually Tommy John surgery.
Look at you light up when you say that. Awful.
I don't mean to. Like, I feel bad for the guy, but
you literally had the biggest smile you had all evening right now.
The Dolphins to win the division. But Minnesota at the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm picking this game assuming Josh Allen plays. But either way, it's going to be a good game. Give me the Bills for 6.
Bills for 14.
Holy smokes.
You do not believe in the Vikings. It's at home. Buffalo coming off a loss. Even if Case Keenum goes, I think Buffalo wins fairly easily. Detroit at the Chicago Bears. Yep.
Bears for 9. I don't pick the Bears very often, but
I have the Bears for 5. I think Fields will run all over the place against them. Denver Broncos at the Tennessee Titans. Who's going to start at quarterback for the Titans?
I don't know. I hope it's not Tannehill because they had Tannehill last night. They probably beat the Chiefs.
They do. Yeah, I agree.
Defense played well. I know the Broncos are coming off a bye. They have a huge chance to go on a 3-game win streak if they can somehow get this one. But Derrick Henry's got to run for like 800 yards. Give me the Titans for 11.
Oh, man. I think it'll be a close game. Wouldn't surprise me if Denver wins. I think I'm higher on Denver this year than you are, which is the weirdest thing ever.
They lost to the Colts.
That's fair.
And I mean, they're not even the hard part of their schedule. They're 3-5. So.
I have the Titans for 4. Jacksonville at Kansas City.
Kansas City for 14. Next.
Kansas City for 13. Next.
Good win for Jacksonville yesterday, but Kansas City got killed. It's bad.
Cleveland Browns at the Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins for 12. This Dolphin team's fun to watch on offense, and the Browns aren't good.
They are. They're fun to watch on offense. Tua is literally the highest rated quarterback in NFL history on third downs. This year, his passer rating is 147 on third downs. Tyreek's having the greatest start to a season a wide receiver's ever had. Pair him with another top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, Jalen Waddle. Fun to watch. Defense, atrocious. Nick Chubb scares me. But don't have to worry about Jacoby Brissett running for 190 yards like Justin Fields did. So give me Dolphins for 8. I think it'll be
I hope David Bell goes nuts.
I didn't even know he's with the Browns. He done.
They only throw him the ball about twice a game. They never even look his way. He plays a ton, but they never look his way.
Houston Texans at the New York Giants.
Giants for 13.
I have the Giants for 3. I don't believe in the Giants at all.
Why?
I think they're one of the worst teams in the NFC that's been very fortunate to be 6-2.
Gotta be who you play.
Believe in Minnesota a lot more than I believe in the New York Giants. We'll say that. New Orleans at Pittsburgh.
I wish I could see New Orleans play tonight, but before I pick this game, but I can't. Pittsburgh's coming off a bye, but I'm taking the Saints for 7. No, I don't like it.
I keep picking Pittsburgh too.
They're not
Pittsburgh
good.
For 6. They're terrible. Yeah, Pittsburgh for 6. I just read a stat. I think Andy Dalton, who's starting tonight, is 6-19 in his career in primetime games, which is not good. Now, the Steelers game is not a primetime game, but tonight's is. Indianapolis Colts at the Vegas Raiders.
I made this before I saw the coaching news today, but I'm sticking with my pick. Raiders for 2.
I have the Raiders for 7. Yeah, I made that before. Obviously saw the coaching news. Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers.
Cowboys for 4. I said I'm done with the Packers. I'm done with them. I'm not picking them anymore.
I have the Cowboys for 1. Would not surprise me whatsoever. Aaron Rodgers, regardless of how bad he's playing, still scary guy.
Oh, he is.
Give me Cowboys for 1. Cardinals at the LA Rams.
This is a team I'm done with, but I just don't see them losing this week. That's the Rams. I think Cliff Kingsbury's in trouble. Cardinals have too much talent to keep losing like they are. I think the Rams get it done, but for 5.
Cliff Kingsbury is probably the next coach to be fired. Kyler Murray, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL.
Call of Duty, baby. Call of Duty.
Rams for 10. LA Chargers at the San Francisco 49ers.
This will be a good one. But I'm taking San Fran for 3.
This will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week. Would not surprise me to see the Chargers win this one. You have to start rooting against the 49ers since you guys own their first-round pick.
And I want their head coach if they decide to fire him and fire Hackett. I'd like their head coach.
49ers win this one, and I have 9 on it. J-Man's Book Up Prediction of the Week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com. Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, Commanders almost got their 4th straight win, but couldn't pull it out. Now they're playing the league's best record, undefeated Eagles. Give me the Eagles for 8.
I have the Eagles for 12. We have to fly through some college basketball here and some word association. But college basketball is back. It is back. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it doesn't feel back at all, but it is back. It'll take me a couple weeks. Come next week when the Gava game set, I'll be ready to go probably. But
I'm ready to roll now.
You've always been ready to roll. Even though I still think you're an Illinois football fan. You can't give me that. But,
I'd call myself an Illinois football fan, but still, my mind's been on basketball for a few weeks, even though the Illinois football team's won some games. But starting with our Big Ten predictions, who you got winning it?
Can I fly through the word association real quick?
Oh yeah,
Since it's Big Ten related. So this is leaders of 3-pointers made since 1986-87. I pulled some from our lifetime. Starting with Jordan Bohannon, who played at Iowa from 2017 through 2022.
I wish I would have been that guy that knocked his lights out last summer.
I like it. John Diebler played at Ohio State from 2008 to 2011.
Greatest shooter I've ever seen in my entire life. regardless of level. Against Illinois, 90% three-point shooter.
He's still making them against number 10 ranked Purdue back in 2010, 2011. Still right now. I mean, he's still making them as I speak. Shep Gardner, Penn State, 2015 through 2018.
Underrated player. Forgot about him. That's a name I hadn't heard. Yeah, he was a good one.
Craig Moore, Northwestern Wildcat, 06 through 09.
Oh, I hated him. Hated him. He was there. Was he there with like Michael Thompson and Kevin Coble and those guys?
Yes.
He's a good shooter. Obviously, all these guys are good shooters. But
Taylor Battle, Penn State, 08 through 11.
Illinois killer.
Oh, he was.
Killed him. Killed him. Great player too. Like not just an Illinois killer. He killed about everyone in the Big Ten.
He literally, I know you call a lot of people Illinois killers, but he literally is the number one guy. When I hear that, I think of.
When I hear Illinois killer, he's the number one guy. Him and Diebler's in the convo, but Taylor Battle for sure.
Well, here's your boy Trent Frazier, Illini, 18 through 22.
Trent Frazier, man, he's tearing up in. I want to say he's in France. He's having a really good. He came onto campus, couldn't guard a statue, turned into one of the best defensive players in Illinois history. They're gonna miss him. Underwood has even said like we show a lot of Trent Frazier tape already. They're gonna miss him. He was the glue.
Brad Davison, Wisconsin, 2018 through 22.
Flop.
I was surprised he made this many threes.
Played there 10 years.
That's true. Carson Edwards, Purdue, 17 through 19.
Man, he's only there 3 years too. That dude could cook. He was a bucket. I mean, short, only maybe 5'11".
Yeah, they list him at like 6 or 6'1", but
he's probably he looked shorter than that. Great athlete. Probably knew he wasn't going to be an NBA guy. I mean, he's played, but a little too short for that. But man, that dude could score. A
lot of people forget he was really good sophomore year too. I mean,
he was.
Everybody remembers his junior, but his sophomore year, he put up some crazy games that year too. And lastly, Blake Hoffarber, Minnesota Golden Gopher, 08 through 11.
I remember him from high school when he made that buzzer beater in the Minnesota State Championship from his butt to win, and then he hit a miracle little jumper against Indiana in the Big Ten tournament.
Stockage, DJ White, and Eric Gordon. Yep.
Yeah, through the length of the court, he caught it, spun around, did a little jumper.
Yep. I left that game at halftime. I'm still bugged to this day. I didn't stay for the rest, but I went in a good mood after Illini beat the Boilers that day, so I want to go home.
Bad Illinois team, I might add.
Yeah. Yep.
A bad Illinois team. Yep.
And that's the Word Associated segment, which is brought to you by Proforma Print2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, they have over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815.
This episode is brought to you by The Damn Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou. Focuses on freshness and quality. You can wash down their delicious food with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews or domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be boats or wheels, Damn Landing is the place to be, located 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester. Big Ten basketball preview. We won't have another preview show until Major League Baseball preview. So this better be a good one, Tanner.
Yep. It's all hanging on our shoulders.
Who do you have winning the Big Ten?
Well, I have a team that's currently down 1 at the 12-minute mark in the first half. That's the Indiana Hoosiers. They'll win by 40, don't worry. But and this pays me as a Purdue fan to have them win the Big Ten, but they return almost everybody. They're older than, I think their starting five is older than 4, if not 5 NBA team starting fives. So that kind of puts it in perspective. Trace Jackson-Davis is back for his billionth year. Race Thompson's back. Xavier Johnson's back. They got good 5-star freshman newcomer Jalen Hood Schifino, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. So I would be surprised if Indiana does not win the Big Ten.
I have Michigan.
They're my number 2.
They did lose Caleb Houston and Musa Diabate to the draft, and they lost Eli Brooks, who was a big part. But they have a great recruiting class, 4-4-star led by Juwan Howard's son, Jet. They also had a transfer from Princeton, Jalen Llewellyn, 15 points a game at Princeton last year. Get Hunter Dickinson back. Need a couple of those guys to like Kobe Bufkin to make that leap. For whatever reason, I think Michigan will be pretty good.
Terrence Williams should make a jump for them too. Hunter Dickinson is my Big Ten Player of the Year.
Me too. With Zach Edey and then Trace Jackson Davis in order.
Right there in the mix. Watch out for Chris Murray too.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a bucket.
Michigan finishing second, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I have the Illini finishing second. They are in my opinion, the biggest wild card in the Big Ten basketball this year. Lost 10 scholarship players from last year, including their 20-10 Kofi Coburn, their defensive point guard shooter Trent Frazier, their good shooter Alfonso Plummer, their glue guy DeMonte Williams, Jacob Grandison's at Duke. They've lost a whole litany of guys, but I think top to bottom, they might have the most purely talented roster in the Big Ten. But again, so many newcomers. I could see them finishing 8th in the Big Ten. Could even see them winning it. So I'm on the high end with them at second. They got transfers, Terrence Shannon Jr. from Texas Tech, who averaged double digits at Texas Tech. Great athlete. And then Michael Meyer from Baylor, good shooter, 6'9", great defender. This team's going to be different. They're going to be long, athletic. They're not going to pound it down in the post. All 5 guys on the court can shoot the 3 ball. Sounds like they're going to press a lot in their exhibition game. Press the entire time off of makes or dead balls. So going to be a much different style. I think they'll struggle a little early with all these guys. Could even see them losing some games, a bye game in a sense. But I think by the end of the year, I think this team's set up better for tournament success than they have been the previous couple of years. So that's why I haven't finished in second.
I have Illinois third. I agree with a lot you said. It's so hard to predict basketball now with the 1-year transfer rule, which I really wish the NCAA would have thought of a little bit before they did that, because it's just whatever. I'm not going to get into that. It'll take up too much time. But no, I think Illinois will be an interesting watch. I think definitely interesting style of offense this year compared to last.
Mm-hmm. Much different. Yep. I have Indiana finishing third. As we talked about, Hood Schifino, they get all these guys back. Again, same roster that wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament if Illinois wouldn't have had to play one of their worst games of the year.
Or if Michigan didn't blow a 20-point lead.
Yeah. Yep. That as well. Can they shoot? Can Hood Schifino shoot? I'm not. Right. I have no idea. I think Tamar Bates is going to have a huge lead for him. They also have a 5-star Malik Runau, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. They'll be good.
They got to be able to shoot. They should be good. Xavier Johnson had a good second half of the year last year.
Just keep his car under 90 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I got the Michigan State Spartans finishing fourth.
Really?
Yes. Malik Hall is coming back, which I swear I thought he jumped pro. He's coming back for the Spartans. AJ Hogarth's back. Tyson Walker and Jaden Adkins all should take a step forward, I think. They
did lose Christie.
They did. And they're going to take some bumps early in the season. They play Gonzaga. They play Alabama. Somebody else, big time, I don't know, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, somebody in that stupid thing, that classic. But they'll be ready come March like they are every year. Izzo's always scary to play against.
I have Michigan State finishing 7th. They weren't that great last year. They have an okay recruiting class coming in. But again, it's Izzo. And honestly, I had them 5th until I looked at all the rosters and I wanted to jump down a peg.
I hope you're right.
7th, but I hope you're right. Finishing 4th.
I hope you're right on that too.
Yeah, I have Purdue finishing 4th. Good roster. Point guard could be a question mark. I think they're going to start freshman, correct?
Yeah, Braden Smith, who Painter's just gushing over. He's Mr. Basketball in Indiana, but once again, it's hard to be a freshman point guard starting in the Big Ten. You're going to take your lumps.
Illinois has one as well.
And I think he's going to be one of those where every Big Ten team hates him. I'm pretty sure with the way he plays, supposedly. So
next Chris Kramer, huh?
Yeah.
But 7'4" Zach Edey back. Who's the guy? Kaufman. What's his actual name?
Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Kaufman Wren, John Rothstein buy stock now. I saw that on Twitter. I think who's that other guy that was in the recruiting class that played last year?
Caleb First.
Caleb First. That's what I'm drawing blanks on names. I don't think they'll shoot it as well.
Right.
Would that be an accurate assessment?
Yeah.
But they should be pretty good.
Yeah, I got Purdue fifth. I think they're going to be really deep, but there's a lot of inexperience. They're starting 2 freshmen. Mm-hmm. They're starting Braden Smith and then Fletcher Lawyer from Homestead, who's going to be the shooter of the team. So you got those 2 starting, and then Ethan Morton, Mason Gillis, and Zach Eady. That's at least the start of the year. Then you got guys like Brandon Newman coming off the bench, Caleb First coming off the bench, Trey Kaufman-Rim coming off the bench, Waddell coming off the bench. He's a redshirt freshman as well, like Kaufman-Ren. So, and then David Jenkins, who's an old man. He graduated high school in 2016. He's transferred from Utah. So, a lot of depth. It's just who's going to be the other guy to step up besides Zach Eady? Or when Zach gets in foul trouble, how are they going to handle that? So, a lot of question marks, but I'm looking forward to the season because I don't have as high expectations as I did last year. And so, a lot of times that turns out more fun.
The same way.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to fly through these pretty quick. I have Iowa finishing 5th. I think Chris Murray's going to have a huge year. I like Tony Perkins as well there.
Yeah, all I wrote down is Chris Murray about them. I got them a little later down on the list. So.
I have Ohio State finishing 6th.
I do as well.
They lost about everyone, but they get transfers. Isaac Likely from Oklahoma State, Sean McNeil from West Virginia, Tanner Holden from Wright State. She'll be pretty good. Next man up. As I said, I have Michigan State 7th.
I have Iowa 7th.
Okay. I have Rutgers 8th.
I have Penn State
8th. Buying
Jalen
Micah
Pickett,
Shrewsbury.
Seth Lundy. Yeah. They got a few Winter. He's a transfer from Drexel, and Andrew Funk, a transfer from Bucknell. I like Micah Shrewsbury. I think he's building something good there.
Yeah, Funk averaged 17 points a game at Bucknell. I literally wrote down Micah Shrewsbury's building something.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be pretty good. But yeah, I have Rutgers 8th. They lost Gio and Ron Harper, but they get Defensive Player of the Year Caleb McConnell back. Cliff Omoruyi could be a Big Ten Player of the Year. Dark horse. And dirtiest player in Big Ten history, Paul Mulcahy's back. So I have them finishing 8th. I have Maryland 9th.
I have Wisconsin 9th.
I have Wisconsin a little later, as I usually do.
You know they're going to be a lot better than we all think. I mean, Tyler Wall, Chuck D. Hepburn, and Kroll's back too.
Yeah, so. Stephen Crowell. Yeah, they lost Brad Davison, and worst Big Ten Player of the Year ever, Johnny Davis. I think he's trash. Barely getting any minutes for the Wizards. I have Wisconsin finishing 11th. Maryland, I think Kevin Willard's going to build them into a really good program, like he did Seton Hall. Got some good transfers. Jameer Young, Don Carey, Patrick Emilian. They could be pretty good. I have Penn State 10th.
I have Rutgers 10th and then Maryland 11th, just since you've already talked about those teams.
I have Wisconsin 11th, Penn State 10th. I have Northwestern 12th.
Me too.
Lost Pete Nance to UNC, Ryan Young to Duke. Still have Adij, Bowie, and Ty Berry. So should have decent guards. I have Minnesota 13th.
I got Nebraska 13th.
Jameson Battle's back for Minnesota. Then they got transferred from North Carolina, Dawson Garcia, who was great as a freshman at Marquette.
Yep.
And then wasn't as good last year. And then I have Nebraska 14th, who's transfer U. So,
yep.
And we both said a Big Ten Player of the Year is the guy Hunter Dickinson.
Hunter Dickinson. Yep. National champion prediction for you?
Gonzaga. I think
I was going to say Gonzaga too.
They haven't won one, have they?
No.
No, they lost to Baylor. That's right. Lost to Baylor and Carolina in the other year. So, give me Gonzaga.
But my dark horse for the Final Four, even though they're ranked well, Creighton. I like Creighton to make the Final Four.
Yeah, Creighton's a good. Yeah, Ryan Kalkbrenner, their big guy, was almost committed to Illinois back when he was in high school, and they just couldn't land him.
I think his final 3 was Illinois, Purdue, and Creighton.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. He's from St. Louis area. Birdie Bogey here real quick. SMU quarterback Tanner Mordecai is the only player in FBS history to have 7 pass touchdowns and a rush touchdown and a half. He's one of only 2 players in FBS history to be responsible for 8 touchdowns and a half. Who is that other player?
I don't think I'm right, but I know this guy went off in a game in 2012 to where at the time they're like, this guy's a front runner for the Heisman. That's Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith.
Incorrect.
Awesome.
Lamar Jackson,
Mhm.
2016.
Hmm.
I thought when you said, before you said 2012, I thought you had Lamar
No.
on the brain because
Nope.
he had some games where he went off.
No.
2 strokes back there.
Yeah, that hurts. I just know Geno in 2012. I only
He
remember they
did.
playing. He went nuts one game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this Heisman says to lose."
Yep, he did.
Thanks
Thanks for
Geno.
watching the Tan and J-Man show. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll be back at it next Monday.